Every single NBA season, we have certain players that it's time to realize we just need to give up on. But for every player like that, we've also got someone that's proving a lot of people wrong. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about both. If you guys like the content, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Let's go for 47 likes on today's video, and let's get into this. Today's video is sponsored by PrizePicks, a player prop site legal in most US states, and man, is it going to be a lot of fun this week as March Madness is here, and they've got all the lines you can think of. So today, we're doing an entry for some of the upcoming games. The big time players show up on the big time stage, so before even seeing the line, I knew I was going to be taking Jabari Smith's over on points. It's looking like he's going to be a top 3 pick in the upcoming draft. He's on a top team in Auburn, and in my bracket, I've got them making it all the way to the championship game. His line is at 17.5. He's hit that in 5 of his last 7. Give me that. Then I'm going with another projected top pick in Jaden Ivey of Purdue, taking his over on 3-pointers made, which is at 1.5. And lastly, I'm going with Kentucky center Oscar Tshiebwe's over on rebounds, which is at a crazy 14.5. I know that's insane, but he leads the country in rebounds, averaging over 15 a game. I'm putting my money where my mouth is, throwing $100 on this entry. If it hits, that's going to be $500. If you guys want to play along, go to the link in the description or use code Jimmer, and they're going to give you a deposit match up to $100. Thank you PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. Let's start things off on a positive note with none other than RJ Barrett, who I really think has proven a lot of doubters wrong so far this year. With this video, we really need to take in consideration expectations, and there's not many players in the league that came in with higher ones than RJ Barrett. Despite being a 3rd overall pick in the 2019 draft, most years he would have been in serious consideration for the #1 overall pick. There's no question his rookie year was disappointing. He really struggled getting comfortable, and that reflected in his numbers, averaging 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists, but shooting just 40% from the field and 32% from 3. Last season, we definitely saw a massive improvement. He played a big role in the Knicks taking the jump to a playoff team, averaging 18, 6, and 3, shooting 40% from 3. But to start this season, it was rough once again. In the first 27 games, he was averaging 15 points, shooting less than 40% from the field, and 34% from 3, looking like his rookie self. During this time, the doubters were doing their victory laps, but since that moment, they've been quiet. He's looked like he's got the chance to be that franchise talent the Knicks drafted him to be. He's averaging 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting with really solid efficiency. This is a guy that was the #1 player in high school, dominated on the national team stage. He was looked at as a can't-miss prospect coming into the draft. It's been up and down to this point, so I really hope he can keep this up. On a not-so-positive note, we've got his new teammate Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish has had a really interesting career. In high school, the hype was insane. He was 6'8" with over a 7-foot wingspan, with the skill to score at all 3 levels with ease. He went into his freshman season at Duke, looked at as a lock to be a top 5 selection. That didn't go quite as planned. He was one of the most disappointing prospects of the year, really struggling to be that 3rd option behind RJ and Zion. Now on the back of his potential, he was still able to become a top 10 pick to the Hawks. Once getting to the league, it was pretty rough. He's had some pretty big blow-up games to this point, probably most notably being just last year, fresh off returning from injury in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals, when he went out there and put up 21 points, shooting 6 for 7 from 3. But these games never came with any regularity, and ahead of their most recent deadline, he was sent to the Knicks along with Solomon Hill in a 2nd-round selection for Kevin Knox in a heavily protected 1st. This was an extremely weird scenario, as it ended up coming out later that the Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau wasn't excited about the front office decision to make this trade. At first, there really just wasn't a role for Reddish, but eventually he was able to get some decent run where it wasn't pretty. He averaged 6 points, shooting 41% from the field and 26% from 3 before going down with a shoulder injury that ended his season. As sad as it is, with how special of a talent he was early on in his career, his chances are running out, and as much as I'm trying to hold on to hope, that's quickly fading. A player it's really cool to see playing well is none other than Kyle Kuzma. Man, has his career been unique to this point. I don't think I've ever seen the community flip on a player faster than Kyle Kuzma. He was a relatively unknown player when he was a late 1st-round selection to the Lakers out of the University of Utah. That would change in a matter of weeks, when he put together one of the best individual Summer League performances we've ever seen, leading the Lakers to a Summer League title. That momentum carried over into his rookie year. He was averaging 16 points and 6 rebounds, shooting 45% from the field and 37% from 3. The following season, we saw his efficiency slip, which really made the concerns about the other aspects of his game creep up. Then the next season, the Lakers made the trade for Anthony Davis. They became serious contenders overnight, and Kuzma had to take on a new role as a role player. It was up and down for Kuzma, but man were there a lot of critics, which was crazy to see as he was just 2 years removed from people praising him as a future star. He played one more year with the Lakers, then ahead of this season was traded to the Wizards in the Russell Westbrook trade. All things considered, he's been really impressive. It wasn't a crazy start to the season for him, but in the last 31 games, he's averaged 22 points, 9 rebounds and 4 assists, shooting 49% from the field and 36% from 3. He might not be that player that Lakers fans thought he would be early on in his rookie season, but he's gotten a lot closer. It's rare you see a player take this big of a jump this late into their career. I think one of the most disappointing recent top picks is the 7th overall selection by the Pistons last year, Killian Hayes. Well, early on in players' careers, especially foreign players, everyone likes to say, oh, they're just rookies and we need to give them more time. The reality is, in today's league, the timer is moving and players really don't have long to prove themselves. He struggled offensively as a rookie, and that might be an understatement. He averaged 7 points and 5 assists, shooting 35% from the field and 27% from 3. The good thing for him going into this season was the fact that it couldn't get worse. Well, at least that's what we thought. This year he's averaging 6 points and 4 assists, shooting 36% from the field and 26% from 3. He's been able to hold on to a really decent role so far, but considering the fact that the Pistons are more than happy with losing games right now, that's not much of a surprise. The sad reality is, he has one more season left to prove himself, as his third-year option has already been picked up, but past that, he's got no job security, and I just really can't see many teams willing to take the risk, as a reward just doesn't seem to be there. Another guy that's proven a lot of people wrong so far this year is Tyler Herro. It's crazy the amount of hype there was for him in his rookie season when he was averaging 14 points, shooting 39% from 3. It was really his role in the Heat making a run all the way to the finals during the bubble that really had everyone talking about his future. In his second season though, that hype fell off a cliff. He went to 15 points on pretty similar efficiency, and everyone acted like this was just going to be Herro ceiling. It was a really weird thing to see. There was a lot of people legitimately with the opinion that he was some catch and shoot guy. Then surprise, surprise, he took another big jump this year, putting together one of the best six-man seasons we've ever seen. He's averaging 21 points, 5 rebounds and 4 assists, shooting with career-high efficiency across the board. The fact that he's coming off the bench really means nothing. He's 4th on this team in minutes, and he's basically tied with Butler for the top scorer on this roster. He's in just his 3rd season. He truly has a chance to be one of the top scorers in the league. Bleacher Report has already reported that he's probably looking at a 5-year, $184 million contract extension this summer. So I think it's safe to say he proved a lot of people wrong. A guy that really hasn't done that is Jarrett Culver, the 6th overall pick in 2019. His immediate failure has been one of the more shocking things I've seen in the NBA. Coming into the draft, he was looked at as one of the safest players in the class. He had proven himself as a 3-and-D wing as a freshman at Texas Tech. Then as a sophomore, he was sprung into a huge role offensively where he thrived, leading them to an NCAA championship game. He falls in the hands of the Timberwolves, and immediately, the defense is just not where we thought it would be, and he's averaging 9 points on terrible efficiency. It would get even worse in his second year, and ahead of this season, was traded to the Grizzlies in a package deal for Patrick Beverley. I was hoping that this change of scenario could turn things around, but it's pretty clear that that's just not going to be the case. He's averaging 3 points, shooting below 40% from the field, and 27% from 3. We're going to have to see something very soon if we're even going to see him on an NBA roster in a couple years. One of my favorite players to watch this season, really just due to how much he's helped me on Prize Picks, is Anthony Simmons. Simmons has had an interesting route. Before going to college, he decided to take a year of prep school at IMG Academy. He was planning to then go to the University of Louisville, but after their massive college basketball scandal, he just went straight to the draft, where the Blazers selected him with the 24th pick. For most of Simmons' career up until this point, it's been solid, but not jaw-dropping. He averaged 4 points a game as a rookie, and then 8 points in both of his last 2 seasons. He's looked super solid while out there. The real question was, would he ever really be able to step into a big role and succeed in it? Well, we got our answer this season. He's averaging 17 points and 4 assists, shooting 41% from 3 on nearly 8 attempts a game, but that doesn't even tell the full story. Since the start of the new year, with the help of CJ McCollum going to New Orleans, he's looked like an absolute beast. He's averaging 23 points and 6 assists, shooting 42% from 3 on over 10 attempts a game. This kid is the real deal, and in most years would be in serious consideration for most improved. He really gives his team the flexibility to move on from a guy like Damian Lillard if that ends up making sense. Another player that I think sadly is seeing their NBA career come to an end is Kevin Knox. This is a crazy one. It was just a few years ago. He was a top 10 selection by the Knicks in 2018. To start things off, he looked incredible. In the Summer League, he was one of the most talked about players, just with the confidence and isolation skill set he showed off. Once getting to the NBA main stage though, we never really saw either of those. He averaged 13 points, but shot just 37% from the field. After that, those same opportunities just weren't available. He averaged 6 points the following season, somehow on worse efficiency. Then last year went down to 4 points a game. The delusional Knicks fans tried to act like there was still something there, but after practically exiting the rotation completely this season, I think reality set in. Ahead of the deadline, he was involved in that Cam Reddish trade we mentioned earlier. So far with Atlanta, he's appeared in 11 games for an average of 7 minutes, where he's averaged 1.7 points, shooting 27% from the field and 8% from 3. He's got a long way up to ever coming close to that hype we saw early on in his career. But that's the video, guys. You guys give me your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.